going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Superpower Review, the show that brings you news and reviews on comic book things. Man, I missed you guys. It's been a while, but we're back. Today we have a fun little episode. Today we're going to be talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Batman Part 2. And to help me talk about this topic, I have my special guest, good friend, Jake Brunell.
How's it going, people? Big, long-time fan of the Ninja Turtles series. Started with the movie, and it all went downhill from there.
And then ever since then, he's been hooked.
Yep, pretty much. You know, it is what it is.
So this series just recently ended. So I figured it's been a while since we done a comic book review here on the show, so might as well do this one. So let's get right into it, shall we?
Absolutely.
So first off, we have amazing artwork by Freddie Williams II. I absolutely love the artwork in this, the style of the artwork in these books. I haven't picked up a book in a while that gets me so excited, not only just story, but artwork as well.
I found it really interesting. I enjoyed all the action, how it plotted out. It was very interesting, especially when the big fight kind of went down.
But we also have, not only do you have him for artwork, but we have Kevin Eastman variants as usual. I didn't pick up too many of the Kevin Eastman variants, but this one was definitely one of my favorites, which was the first book. I love the Kevin. I know you picked up pretty much all the Kevin Eastman variants.
Yeah. This is one page I liked a lot for artwork.
For artwork, yeah.
So, kind of covered the whole little fight and carried on. Yeah. I found it very interesting, the team ups they used for this book. I have a little bit of qualms with it, but I mean, I like the fact that they broke the barrier for it.
Yeah, this story is a lot of fun. You know, and like I said before, I haven't been reading a lot of newer books recently, so this is the only one that's been getting me really excited. If they were continuing on the story, I would still be picking it up.
I agree. I mean, you know, I'm not really big on comics. This is actually the first series I completely read through. Yeah. And so it's very interesting, the fact that I was willing to pick up the book and read it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I was starting to get into the nostalgic feeling halfway through. I was enjoying the play out. It wasn't so much of still shots anymore. It was starting to meld together and become a real story show, and my mind was kind of filling in the blanks for me there. Right. So I mean, I really enjoyed reading these books. I'm gonna definitely try to get into some more stuff.
Yeah, it's been really good. So this is the second part of this. If you did not pick up the first part of this series, you don't really have to, because it doesn't really pick up from anything from that last story.
I mean, they don't really reference between anything like that, but I mean, I do know that they are independent stories of each other. Pretty much you can read each story of themselves.
Yeah, exactly, right. You can just pick it up, start reading it, and you don't have to know anything about the last story.
Absolutely.
Pretty much so the synopsis to this whole 6-book series is that Bane gets into to New York. So Donatello goes through this portal to meet Batman. He misses. It's like he almost missed Batman. I need a new mentor, someone to make me better. Finds this portal. They get transported together. Bane gets into New York, and then Donatello goes into Gotham. So did you like having Bane in the story?
I did. I enjoyed the fact that they had Bane. They made him a more larger-than-life character. You can tell by as you read it, the team-ups that happen and everything like that. They make it almost nigh impossible if you just take care of Bane without having help. Right.
You needed every single person on Batman's side in order to take them down.
Not even that, but I mean also on the Turtle side. Yeah. Not even their friends. It was a all-hands effort to get rid of this guy. This guy did something he never done, something I thought about a long time ago and wondered why he didn't do it. I don't really want to spoil it, but I mean, I always wondered why he kind of just didn't share the wealth, we'll put it that way. Yeah. And he finally kind of came to with that, and I feel like if he was to rinse and repeat, he'd probably learn from what he did. He'd be a lot more devastating now if he was to do it again. But I found it really interesting how they kind of made this whole story branch off of Donatello. His inner turmoil, they made it very clear that he had an inner conflict of being the character that had a problem, and he was seeking out answers And of course, he never really figured out the answers right away. But I mean, as every story goes, he concludes in the end that he figures out what's going on.
Just want to showcase the artwork because the artwork is absolutely fantastic in this story. One of my new favorite artists, to be quite honest, when it comes to just doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I wish this guy Freddie Williams would just do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles forever because he's kind of my favorite. He actually makes me want to go buy more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
When Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Universe came out, the #1, and I found out Freddie Williams was doing the art, I was like, yeah, I gotta pick.
Yeah, that's right. Where's that at? It's in the back of one of the books. They show the Freddie Williams #1 Universe picture.
Yeah, for the paperback. Yeah, so you can pick that up on paperback, and you can also pick up the first set of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Batman on paperback as well. Can't go wrong with paperback, especially if you can't find all the books.
Absolutely.
So, we don't want to spoil too much in this story. I mean, I have the synopsis of each individual book here, but I want to encourage you to pick up the book and kind of listen to our reference on what we think about the book so you get excited about it. But one of my favorite parts about this book is I have 3 specific favorite parts. One, that Robin and Raphael get into a fight.
That was great.
That was a great part.
That was really funny.
That was awesome. I was a little mad that Robin kind of kicked Raphael's ass, but
I don't know. I don't feel like he won that fight. I don't feel like anybody did.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like Rob might have got a couple hits in, but I mean, we do know that Raph is stronger just by sheer stature. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite ones was the big homage reference to Batman getting his back broken.
Yes.
Oh, I was worried. I was reading into that, and I was like, they're not going to do this again, are they? I was like, how could this happen? I was like, this is going to be ridiculous. But I mean, like, I was like, how is he going to, I wonder if he's going to break the shell.
Could.
I mean, it was very interesting.
I thought he was going to, too. I was a little worried there, too. I was like, oh, no, that's not going to be good. But yeah, I did like that part as well. Just another thing about this series that, that they're taking pieces of Batman's universe into the Turtles, like just the meshing of everything, like using the Lazarus Pit to get Splinter back to health. You know what I mean? Like just little stuff like that makes me like, this is really good. Like I love how they're picking pieces of certain storylines and of these important items of these characters, to help one another. I
definitely would have loved to see them use embellish the Lazarus Pit a little bit more.
Yeah.
If you look at the cover of, I don't know if you have it, I want to say it's the 4th book of the, right there.
This one? Oh, yeah.
They show it. They show Splinter coming out of Lazarus Pit, and I was really excited to see how that was going to play out. I definitely wanted to see it. It was kind of this is like the most attention you see out of Splinter with the Lazarus Pit. It was kind of like a mention in the book when it comes to it. I was really kind of like down that they didn't like push on that because Lazarus has its effects and everything like that.
Yeah.
And so I was really kind of bummed that they didn't continue with that, but the story needed to progress, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, right. They didn't want to spend too much time on it, but I see what you meant. Another great part, again, like I was saying, taking other elements from others, like from Batman and bringing it to the Turtles universe. Donatello, getting hooked on the injecting himself with the Venom serum.
Oh my God!
How awesome is that? Like that's a nerd out factor. Like wow, like you would think you would never see anything like this, especially Batman and the Turtles teaming up. You know what I mean? But that's another great spot. I would have loved to see Donatello get more of his revenge on the Venom serum. I think it was cut maybe a little bit too short.
What do you mean by revenge?
Well, he goes to get the Foot Clan. And he's I can put an end to this right now if I take the Venom serum, and I just want this mess to pretty much go away. But I felt like I could have it would have been awesome to see Donatello and Bane go head to head maybe once while Donatello's on the Venom serum.
What I thought would be a really cool idea was that if Donatello did what he did best with the Venom serum, is if he took it and he made it better. And then he took it and then he went to town on Bane and he just crushed his face. and then now Donatello was the big threat that needed to be handled. I thought that would have been a really cool way to go with it and kind of deal with Bane as a whole. And I mean, I think it would have been a very cool plot twist.
Yeah.
I mean, Donatello, the guy who had the problem in the beginning, is now the problem because of that.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I thought it would have been really cool to see what they could have done with that.
Let's get a shot of Donatello with the Venom serum because, you know, you got to show
Oh,
that
yeah, the
stuff.
front one doesn't, the opening page doesn't do justice.
Everything just gets bigger. Even like the
He's
little...
massive. That picture does not show a comparison.
Yeah.
What's the next book? Which one is that? 4?
Yeah.
Go to 5 when you see him just like...
Wigging out on people.
Absolutely.
Did I pass it already? No.
Yeah, right there.
Right here, yeah.
Back page.
But the splash pages on these books are just
It's
amazing.
just massive.
He's
He
big.
is
Look
huge.
how big he is compared to all the
Yeah.
other turtles on this page right here.
And there's the universe too, right there.
Yeah, for the paperback, right? But just check out these huge splash pages. Absolutely amazing. Like, look how big
Here's one that caught
Bane
me
is.
off guard.
Which one?
This one was really interesting. I thought it was really cool. A different change of pace.
And then
Right
we
here.
haven't even mentioned this whole. Oh yeah, we have
They
to
just
actually
turn
turn
it-
the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I really like
Yeah,
that.
I'll show it right here. Yeah, you actually have to like turn the book to because the artwork is so big.
It's very vertical. It was a very long shot.
Yeah.
What are you going for?
What about the? Oh, this is the last book, but you know, just again, such great artwork. You know, another thing that I really like about what Freddie Williams does with his artwork too is that if you notice, he outlines everything with black, and then on top of the black, he lines everything with like a transparent white stroke line.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's got like almost like a graffiti look to it, but it also helps make the images pop a little more. So not everything, like not all those dark colors are kind of like meshing together and blending together. Like it gives it a little more of a pop effect to it.
Absolutely. Kind of pulls your eye to where he wants it to be.
And then you got Rocksteady and Bebop who get, you know, on the serum too, which is super awesome, super cool.
They didn't really need it, but I mean...
They didn't really need it though, because they're
No.
already big characters already.
Yeah. I mean, what they are is just this... I mean, like, Bane is his own thing. He's a smart genius, you know, musclehead. Where you got Bebop and Rocksteady, they're just dumb muscleheads.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I mean, they're your typical, you know, roided out jock.
Yeah, right.
You know?
And they'll just pretty much like side with anyone who overpowers them.
Oh,
Or they'll side
absolutely.
with anybody.
Absolutely. You know, they follow the trend.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
They follow the trend. They don't set the pace at all on anything.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
So with the art and the story, do you think it melds well together?
I enjoyed it. I thoroughly did. I mean, this is a very easy adaptation for a movie if they really wanted to go that direction, or even just like a cartoon movie. We know DC does the cartoon movies really, really well. At least I think so. Where Marvel's kind of like excelling in the live action movies, DC's fallen a little bit below on that standard.
Yeah.
But they have their cartoon movies, which I think are fantastic. And I really like what they did is they pulled from the DC movies, cartoon movies, and they brought this here. Because right now, for at least from when I last saw it, Damian being Robin, right now, Bruce's son, there's like 2 or 3 movies that are kind of carrying together, and they've carried along with the storyline of each one of them, where Damian is the Robin of that time. And the attitude that I read in this book is actually the same attitude and kind of personality he had in the cartoons. So honestly, I felt like this was an extension of the movies that they've been coming out with.
Yeah.
So it was very consistent, which I really enjoyed, because now whenever I was reading it, it was like I can understand how he was saying things and what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like he does that little TT like sound mark.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about when I hear it, because I know what they did in the shows for it. So it was really, really cool on how they're kind of just keeping that going. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Overall, fun story. I highly suggest you pick this up. It is hands down one of my favorite team-ups. There's no other
Absolutely.
team-up that I don't think is nowhere near as good as Batman in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I just feel, I love how the different personalities coexist with each other. And of course you have Mikey, who's the comic relief.
Oh, absolutely.
Who's always the
piece of God is the reference about like 4 times in these books. Oh man, it's really funny. I love it.
And then, the other thing too of Batman having something to teach to these guys as well.
That's really cool, considering, because I mean, the Ninja Turtles are so far removed enough that Batman can actually show some kind of emotion, where it's more of like Damian or Grayson or something like that, where he's got to be tough because that's his standard.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's not really overwatching the Ninja Turtles. He kind of give them that, so you can always show them that support. And it's a nice kind of breakaway from the typical Batman we're used to, of cold, calculating guy, not allowing any kind of mistake to his subordinates.
Yeah, you're right.
But when like the Ninja Turtles, they do a little homage at the end, and it's kind of like, here you go, buddy. Like you need help, let me know.
Right.
It's not something you see from Batman all that often. I really enjoyed seeing that as much as I don't like seeing Batman have any emotion.
I see what you mean.
But it is a nice kind of change of pace. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Just kind of like takes the Turtles under his wing, no pun intended. Hey.
There you go.
All right, so tradition here on Superpower Review, okay, where we like to give things a rating. I like to use the CGC grades in order to give something. So what grade would you give this whole story?
The story as a whole?
Story, art, everything.
Oh man. I would have to say somewhere between an 8.5 to 9.
I thought you would actually give it like a bit higher actually.
I mean, there's a couple things that I saw that I would have wished to see come out of it. Like the Lazarus Pit and everything like that. Some of the moments that could have been really big moments, that could have been just something really fantastic to see, they kind of just like forgot about it or whatever the case is. I really kind of...
Or just not enough book time to actually...
Exactly. I would have been fine if they extended this to an 8-book series. I would have gone out and bought every single one of them. I mean, it's not going to stop me. I mean, I would have enjoyed it.
I would have bought more too if they came out with more.
I mean... I don't know. I don't know what their reason was for trying to cut it short. Maybe to stay along with the first one and everything like that. But
did you actually like the first one better or this one?
I mean, I like the feeling that the first one gives you because no one knows who no one is.
Yeah.
And then there's that rivalry between Splinter and Batman and everything like that. But then, I mean, I like this one because this is more of a story. This is a story to tell. There was conflict. There was, there was. I can't think of the words, but I mean, there was everything that was needed
so
for
much
a good
going
story.
on.
Yeah, there's so much to the story. It had everything it needed to. I mean, there's moments that had me on the edge. There's other times it didn't. I mean, but I thought it was great. I really liked it.
If I were to give this a grading, I would have to give it a 9.4.
Yeah, I'm closer to the 9s myself.
Yeah, this is a 9.4, and the reason being is because, again, I'm not picking up any other new comic books right now. I've almost dropped everything, but this was the one that I had to pick up because I knew how good the first one was. I wasn't sure if the second one was going to be as good, but it was pretty close.
Well, let me ask you this. You're saying you gave this a 9.4 because of based on this being the good one coming out right now.
Yeah.
If you had another series that you enjoyed really,
it comes nowhere close to this.
And you had it, and you were buying it at the same time, would you still give it that 9.4 because now you have something that's a little bit more competitive to compare it with?
No, I think I would still give it that 9.4.
Okay,
yeah, I really do. I really, really enjoy this team up. It's, again, one of my favorite team ups. You're taking two very iconic comic book characters, one group, one being a character, and putting them together. You're using bits and pieces from all these two iconic universes. So it's super fun. I feel like that the drawing board for stories on this, it could be endless, endless.
Absolutely.
But I really love this team up. I want to see more until, you know, maybe they come out with something that's not as good. Be like, you know what, maybe it's time to put this to bed or put it to rest. But I would love to see one more series of this.
If you could, okay, so we're gonna build off of that.
Okay.
Who would you like to be the main enemy?
The main enemy for the next one?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would maybe go with like something like a Joker or a Scarecrow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm thinking Clayface.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say Clayface. I know you too well. I knew you were gonna say Clayface.
I mean, Clayface would be a fantastic person to play. I mean, because first of all, he's another guy that none of the turtles know about.
Yeah.
And I mean, it would just be fantastic to kind of like, you know, Clayface is one of those guys where if you don't know, he's something to deal with.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like he has that difference where he can shapeshift, but I just feel like it wouldn't be too much difference to Bane because Bane is that big, humongous, overpowering character, and Clayface is almost the same kind of feel.
Well,
I would like to maybe see something that would get into the minds of the turtles, be like, man, we have never dealt with anything as psychotic as this before.
Well, I mean, let me rephrase it. I'm thinking more of a smarter Clayface.
Okay.
Someone that would use his shape-shifting more advantageously than more of his brute. Like I'm talking about, like, you know, using every chance he can to like impersonate one of the turtles or anything.
Okay.
I think that would be very interesting.
Okay. That could be
but
cool.
I do enjoy the idea that, you know, kind of like using the mindset of a psychopath to kind of like mess with the turtles.
Right, right.
So that would be very interesting to see pursue.
So I think that's going to wrap it up for today's show. Definitely one of my favorite newer books to pick up. There's nothing out there that I enjoyed more. Like I said, I was picking up Rebirth for a while. I dropped that. I dropped Venom. I dropped Spider-Man. Even with the whole thing that's going on with the Red Goblin.
Wow.
Whatever. I don't really care about it. But this is a whole different story. Okay. This gets me, again, the artwork gets me excited. The story gets me excited. The cover art, everything about this series gets me really amped up, and I absolutely loved it to death. So, and another thing too, okay, everything that I've been picking up that's new, okay, if I don't like it, you know me, if I don't like anything, it's gone. I try to get rid of it. This stays. This stays in the comic book collection.
Oh, I'm making it a point to go to Providence Comic Con and getting everything signed by all the Kevin Eastman variants. I'm gonna try to get that all signed out there. You know, I'm gonna make it a point to get this stuff put on the shelf.
Nice.
So
that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. If you like this video, make sure you like it. And if you want to see more from this channel, make sure you subscribe. Pick up this story if you haven't yet. If you have, let me know what you thought of it. You can always leave your comments in the section below, or you can email the show at superpowerview9@gmail.com. And hey, if you want to be a guest like my friend Jake was today, you can always email the show too and let me know if you'd like to be a potential guest. That's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys really soon. High five, buddy.